to the COVID-19 Superhero Technology Summit and Awards brought to you by SME Channels, India's first magazine for IT solutions business. I'm Manisha Nair Thavan, welcoming you to this webinar. Right now, I'm going to hand over to Sanjay Mahapatra, who will be speaking with Mr. Anil Sethi, Vice President and GM Channels, Dell Technologies India, on channel profitability.
Anil, warm welcome to you. This is at the fag end of this event, but I don't think anybody can take out any kind of credit from us. Making very interesting. I know that you are one of the rock star channel leaders. Ever since I know, probably 15 years, back, I knew you. So I know that you are a rock star, like kind of Salman Khan of the industry. And as far as your industry, your company is concerned, having the largest footprint. So I do not need any introduction. Everybody knows you in this channel industry. Isn't it?
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you very much. By the way, great session. I've been there online on your session for last 1.5 hours. So great conversation. Jitin did a great job. I saw that. And all the panelists, Ranjan, Mr. Huda, Ashok, Biren, everybody was damn good. I think it was very nicely done. Thank you. I enjoyed that. Oh, yes,
Thank
Sanjay,
you.
tell me, how do we
hit right on the question here. So you are looking at this COVID situation, which is not right, not good for anybody. So overall, what is the business sentiment from a channel, from a leader point of view, from the OEM standpoint?
We come from a culture of an optimism at Dell, and that's what we feel, that every crisis brings in some opportunity. But as we see, it's quite clear. Once this emergency is past the world, and will not look the same. But we also see many parts of our economy are able to continue with some semblance of normalcy. And currently, like we see that, remote working, everybody was talking about, online shopping is coming back, it's happening. Delivery options are there, home entertainment, telemedicine. So part of economy is working and is functional. But is that how? Now the question comes is how fast that's going to change. I think that this has helped in two important ways. One, it's completely taken off in a big way, and everybody wants to have that faster done, and everybody wants to see that they are upon that ladder much more early now. And they were thinking earlier, so all those things are really changed. So I think that's definitely there. Two is that, second is a point that, we definitely need to see that, sustainability is important, right? So that's definitely there. But I see that there is a one trend which I kind of have continued to see it, that, COVID has intensified some existing trend, like, widening the gap between the top and the bottom of the power curve of economic profit. That's what I feel. What I mean is the top companies are becoming much more better and bigger. And that's what actually, when I see it in our partner business also, the bigger partners are continuing to do better. But what's important is to see that how some of the up-country partners which have come into the business, how they kind of are able to sustain this time, because there are multiple things that they are facing, and one of the biggest thing is the cash crunch situation, which is their cash flow is definitely badly impacted. There are massive deratings happening, so those kind of things are kind of becoming a bit of a problem. But having said that, we are 4 months past this COVID today, and after 4 months, what we see, if you ask me, I don't see the business more than have declined about 20 to 25% of that. And yes, it has become a little bit tough. So it's quite a dichotomy, in my opinion, because it has become a little bit of a it's a little tough to, because you can't meet customers and people have not been used to do a business remotely. But what's the good part is that yes, it's saving on some of the cost and other things. Those things have definitely helped. The new normal is there, so that's people are kind of getting it accustomed to it, all partners and everybody. So those kind of challenges are there, and as a reason that some of the speed has definitely come down. But there is completely going to be like, I heard many people talking about new normal is being one of the word which everybody uses these days. This is new normal, this is new normal. So probably I will say that also one thing. So when we see, so business as it is to do business is changing, right? So whichever model we were doing it, that whole thing is going to change. So it's completely reimagining of marketing. And when I say that, what I mean that is, look at it that, marketers have to think that, when people are putting the masks, it's not only to save you some viral, but it is also changing the way you look. So it is going to be a completely reimagination of the marketing and how you need to do. And that's exactly to our sales. That's exactly applies to the way we are dealing with our customers today, right? So it's because IT is not just an IT business. We do IT is an enabler and helps all other businesses. So it's important to see how other businesses are impacting, right? And this is one of the trends which, that one of the new normal which you're going to see it soon. So marketing in all sides are going to change the way we were doing it. So it's a reimagining of the marketing, and I guess, but I'm sure that we're going to be we have started to come back. Like I said in the beginning, the normalcy started to hit into some of the economies of ours, and it's soon going to be seen in many more economies. I'm pretty optimistic that we should be out with this in by October or November, and things should be better. And business is soon going to be normal in the new normal way. So that's how it's going to be.
All right. So I also am very optimistic about industry coming back to the normalcy. Now, next question for you is that from the market standpoint or the vertical technology standpoint, where do you think that traction happening? And I'm seeing cloud everywhere. Cloud being driver. What else? Which other technology do you think are becoming relevance to the industry, to the partners as well?
So I think first let's talk about verticals. I think you had two questions. One is on the verticals. The second is how which technologies are becoming more relevant apart from cloud. I heard a lot of people talking about cloud today during your session. So yes, that's definitely one of the important things, and I'll touch upon it in a while. But I think the sectors which are there, which are seeing the accelerated digital transformation, which I was talking to you about a few seconds back, is definitely BFSI is on the run. So that's, banking, we are seeing a big banking, insurance are the companies which are completely, I would say, would be, I would say that would be digitally transformed in next 6 months or so. And they are putting up every single scope of work, all workloads are shifting, and they have been earlier also onto that space. But I think they have this situation has accelerated that momentum. So it's in BFSI we see all kinds of things, whether it is from it's an actual vertical of edge to cloud story, because right from you have PCs and laptops everywhere in the entry which you require it, and definitely going on to hybrid cloud models and private clouds, public clouds. You see a real multi-cloud environment into that vertical. So that's definitely booming. Healthcare is everybody knows is going to be coming up in a big way, and that's an area which we need to all focus on, because that's big opportunity. Education is the third big opportunity which we are going to see it, and that's because of everything is going online. So that's because of the current situations. So that segment, that sector is going to definitely see a big transformation there. Government is putting up a lot of efforts over there in that. Definitely private universities and colleges, we have tons of them over there in India. So that's one very important area which people should most of the partners should focus on, I believe. That's one area also many people haven't focused, because they have generally been focused, they have only focused as a edge requirement, or students needs laptop, and probably they thought that much about it. But I think it's coming completely, it's transforming in a very, very different way, and it's a huge opportunity in my opinion there. So those are the three big ones. I mean, definitely ITES continues. There are one which continues to be there, and ITES is going to be the continuous one. So I think these are four which are going to be very relevant ones, and we are continuing to see the growth there. About technologies, I would say that we saw that we've been talking about, everybody talks about cloud. So yes, it is definitely, and I also would say that my 2 cents would be that this is definitely important, but then you need to know what you got to do about that, right? And now, what are you going to talk to your customer about that cloud? I mean, there is an infrastructure on the cloud. There are, and we talk about people. I heard people talking about DR on the cloud. We talk about container as a service. We talk about multiple services are there, right? I mean, we have some of the bigger cloud players in the market, and so whereas when we are from Dell side, I would say that we have a great offering and a partnership, and our working with the VMware is one of the strongest stories in my opinion, and that's what actually redefines. And the new VMware on cloud, which you see VMC, this is one of the great products and opportunities that helps how some of the matured customers migrating the data to the cloud, and how can you see a single instance story. So I think that's a huge opportunity, and that one can dwell into that. And cloud technologies and overall, I definitely, there are people need to add up the skills, and it's important. It's very, very important. I read somewhere, it said learn how to learn. So that's something which is going to be very, very key over here, because upskilling is going to be very important. And skilling into technologies like other than cloud is artificial intelligence, machine learning, 5G. We saw 4G connecting people. We're going to see 5G, which is going to connecting things, and that's going to be extremely important. And that's where AI and ML role is going to be very, very important. And so skills development and upskilling for each partner organization and the people are going to be important, because skills do expire. And we today, at any level of in organization, any person could be there, but I think he needs to be reskilled, because we are in the business where we continuously need to be reskilled, because this is an expiry part, because skills do expire and we need to learn more. So I think those are some of the technologies which people should focus on. Security is another very, very big area, very big area. Most of the people are not. Lots of things which I see many times is that we talk about some of these great technologies, and but I have seen many inertia in many partner organizations to really take this forward. So you really need to do that, and for that I think every single CEO needs to change and show it few of the things in his organization and say that how this needs to be implemented. I think this is an important CEO effort in every single channel organization that he needs to take and see that, because I was mentioning that many of the partners and people, many I've seen, they talk about it, but when it comes to investing some of the time into and some of the dollars into reskilling the organization, I think it's not seen there much. While we talk about it, but I think we need to see more action over there, and more work on that side. So that would be one of the things which I would like to mention here. Okay.
Okay, the other thing I'm hearing a lot, I've been tracking Dell for a long time. Now the latest one, which I saw that you have opened up your financial arm for the partners. Would you touch upon that also? How are you supporting financially to the channel partners, or extend the credit line? If you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you. So look, we don't have, we haven't, we have an organization within Dell DFS, which is Dell Financial Services. We haven't yet had a formal launch into the country, but we have we should be doing that soon. But we have many other stimulus packages for the partners. We launched it during this time, and other than the so there we do two things under that. So one is that in the stimulus package, one is called working capital solutions. So what we do is we are the only company in the country which builds which do our building to our distributors and to our partners, some of the top partners in the country. So that has been that we started it for some few years back. So what we did during this time is, so and I should tell you probably, when we started this, we introduced this thing 4 years back, and that was one of the major reason in that time was in the capital hungry country like India, and where the cost of capital is very high. How do you help partners, one, and the biggest question, and is the theme of your probably the talk, profitability of the partners. So how do you do that, right? Is there something that we can go up and do something always in the price and help the partner to do a profitability? The answer wasn't there. So then is there something that we can do it with the in the competitive in our environment, we can be more better priced than the competition, hence the partners can make more money? Answer is no. In the government, when you go and there are tenders, and when you are working and you have an L1 scenario, so you have to be matching that. So how do you do that, right? So you're not going to, the profitability is going to be a very difficult thing to achieve, right? So backward working was done to see, and the one of the thought which I was struggling with that time was that, how do you create organizations for the future? So we did this exercise 4 years back, by the way. So so in that process, we realized that the cost of money, and when I was going to some of the P&Ls of the organization, and I realized cost of money was one of the biggest deterrent and one of the biggest factor. Though in India, to do this business, the distributors do a great job, by the way, and they lend the big credits to the partners. But then the objective was, all right, when they do it, so how do we do to our distributors, because that's the money which gets circulated. And second is we open up to the sum of the partners, so that in totality we bring in more cash dollars into the circulation, right? And when you do that, right, so that much turns are bigger, and we bring it on the lower cost. So when you have a lower cost of money to the partners in a way passed on, the profitability can hence increase, right? Ultimately, managing the P&L is definitely prime responsibility of theirs, but we were trying to do from our side, and we started this effort that time 4 years back. But today after 4 years, we have a history of the partners, right? A payment history of the partners, the credit history of the partners. So we went ahead and extended some of the lines to them. We created some overlines, we extended some periods, we helped them case to case, depending upon to where partners are, some large deals, orders. So everything was looked at, by organization. So it's not something you could have done. You have to go by organization. So we did that. And I also, while I say that, in the same breath, I like to thank all the big distributors over there who did a terrific task of, by the way, managing this last 4 months, and they came forward. I know it's a very tough situation. So this is what we did it to our distributors and our direct billing partners. So that's the way we created the we helped them in the in the cash flow, to manage the cash flow, right? So I think that's the one biggest thing which that happened. And apart from that, we had our stimulus package have some of our metal partners, which we have it. And so metal partners, we have a special training services which are basically cost given or given free. Then there are some marketing activities which are being done. We are paying the money in advance to do that, those marketing activities. So those kind of things. There are multiple other things in the package when the people who are deeply involved into a business, they get into that and understand. So these are, when I say metal partner, these are partners, just to tell you, who are certified on certain technologies and certain certifications they carry and certain revenue thresholds they meet, and that's how they get eligible under that. So that's what is largely meant by metal partners here. So that's what we did, Sanjay, about them. And we continue to do that, and we will continue to support our partners in this journey. and we understand that this is the trying times, and this is the time when both sides, the trust which we created from our side and from the partner side, I think both sides need to display that more and more strongly, and that's what's happening, and that's what the actual asset test happening right now, and I think it's going pretty okay and pretty fine. So that's nice, and we'll continue to do that.
Good to hear about that finance bit, which is a challenge everywhere, not only from the partner fronts, also on the customer front. The CIOs are also facing the similar kind of challenges. You know, they have got large projects, but getting the budget out of the CFO and CEO is becoming a harder task for them. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's a pleasure hearing about your partner assisting financial programs. Okay, we have got 2-3 minutes left, Anil. I can ask you, of course, my next question you have already answered in bits and pieces, but if you can ask you that question, you can better way answer that and create a better construct of that. Rather than it will be two questions into one. One is that out of that two is that how Dell as a company, Dell Technology as a company, driving channel business amid this COVID situation? That's one part of my question. The other one is, what is your critical messaging for the channel partners?
All right, Sanjay. So I think we continue to driving during this time. I think what we're helping is the faster closures. So that's what we are trying to see, and the partners and with the customers, we are trying to see that if we can bring down the time for the closing or the pipeline which we already had. So we had a great pipeline, I think, with the partners and everywhere. So that was not an issue. I think issue was all about how one that how soon it can close, and then there are some of the terms and that customers has currently, and we are trying to see that how we can manage them and see help our partners close that faster. So one single line, fast tracking those existing pipelines and seeing that, and there is all new requirements which are coming that we are trying to address it very closely, and our traction and interactions with them is very we are completely we are very closely locked with each other and on an opportunity. So business that way is fine. It's all about how fast we can close. So that's on business. I think my message to all the partners would be that first of all, that I feel that they're doing a terrific task. It's not easy, and so my message is a couple of them I would like to probably say. Maybe let me see which are important ones that come to my mind, so I can't sequence it, but let me just say that what I think is important. The first and most important thing is to see that protect your employees, because they are the most important thing. At the center of every single thing is employees, the people, because it's an emotionally challenged time, and we should see that we take care of them and ensure we measure them properly also. So that's very important too. So that's one. I think the second important one is ensure the liquidity is enough to weather this storm. I think that's very, very critical and important to see that how you value optimize your accounts receivables and payables, and your cost, which I think people were talking, and also see how the sustainability can be there. And if I am seeing in some of the countries there are smaller partners, we are seeing some M&As happening over there, and people should stay open to those ideas, and it's a good thing. And anyway, if the strengths can be multiplied, that can always help in the marketplace. And third one is, I think we all know it, but I think it's important to display it more. It's customer obsession. So I think that's going to be super important, because how we navigate customers and how we help them during this crisis time will always be remembered, and always help any company in future time, and bring closer to the customer for the future. And I think another thing is that, practice the plan. I heard someone talking about it today. I think it was Ranjan saying, I don't know who was saying that, but somebody mentioned, or Ashok said, the planning, plan. What's the plan? How you want to come out of this? Make some plan, make a blueprint about that. Just put it, whatever you think about 7, 8, 10 things that, and in the sequence that you think it's important for you, and maybe it needs to be worked parallelly, but practice a plan, have a plan how you need to do that. It doesn't need to be exhaustive one. And the last one, I think, is speed is super, super important during this time, because it's never been a greater need than today of the speed. And I think that would be very important, because it's important the CEO to display it in smaller organization and larger organization. The leaders need to understand, and that CEO's messages should be there to those leaders. That's what I think are the some 5 or 6 top things which comes to my mind, and those are things. I spoke about protecting employees, I spoke about liquidity, I spoke about customer obsession, and I spoke about practice, plan, and speed. So those are some of the messages I would like to leave it with the partners, and say that they should focus on. And that's not only for that, I think that's for entire any OEM business that they address, that will help them. And from Dell side, anything that we can do, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or our teams. We are the company which today in India, our very large part of the revenue is comes through the channel partners, and that is extremely important for us. And this relationship is very important, and we want to ensure from our side that we continue to build this trust, and see that we together sail through this time. Back to you,
So I
Sanjay.
think Anil, really nice things you touched upon, everything probably. And if I can sum up that, the 4 tenets you are talking about, the qualities that the partners should bring in are one is speed, obviously the human factor, then controlling finance, the other one is innovation. So which already was there. We have been talking about these things from time immemorial. But going forward, given the situation, we need more of these things. Maybe for next 2, 3 years, or
Yeah,
in a long run.
absolutely.
All right,
Absolutely.
then Anil,
You're right.
thank you
Thank
very
you,
much,
Sanjay.
Anil. Yeah,
Thank you.
it's a pleasure talking to you once again, and for the better management and the interest of the time, I say you thank you. We'll meet once again and discuss in details. Thank you, Anil.
Sure. Thank you, Sanjay. Likewise. Thanks, Anisha, and thanks everybody at SME Channels.
Thanks, Sanjay, for that very invigorating chat. A lot of insights coming through there. Thank you so much.